The Rise and Fall of the UFC's Israel Adesanya, a story of triumph, exposure, and adaptation. Israel Adesanya's career in the UFC is nothing short of legendary, a fighter who stormed into the organization with a dazzling striking style. He quickly captured the hearts of fans worldwide. His meteoric rise was punctuated by electrifying performances, including a highlight reel knockout of Derek Brunson and a stunning finish of Robert Whittaker to claim the middleweight title. Adesanya's combination of precision, fluid movement, and flashy techniques established him as one of the most dynamic strikers in mixed martial arts history. At 185 pounds, Adesanya became the archetype of a striker dominating in an era when wrestling seemed to be the sport's dominant force. He appeared untouchable, mastering distance control and utilizing feints and kicks to keep opponents frozen in their tracks. Fans celebrated his creativity and skill, but as his title reign unfolded, cracks began to appear. Not in his athleticism, but in his ability to maintain the aura of invincibility that had propelled him into superstardom. The turning point. Yoel Romero and the fans' frustration. Adesanya's early title defenses were pivotal moments in shaping his public perception. His fight against Yoel Romero, which was supposed to be a thrilling clash of styles, turned into a lackluster affair. Both fighters hesitated, unwilling to take risks, and the result ending in a stalemate that grew criticism. The bout was labeled one of the worst title fights in UFC history, and it marked the beginning of a shift in how fans viewed Adesanya. Though he continued to win, the excitement that had once defined his performances gave way to cautious strategic bouts. His ability to control fights with jabs, low kicks, and distance management frustrated opponents, but it also began to alienate fans who craved the explosiveness of his earlier career. The fall from dominance. This right here is where I truly begin to believe that Israel Adesanya's aura of invincibility truly died. The fall begins. Alex Pereira and the end of dominance. Adesanya's rivalry with Alex Pereira brought new challenges. Pereira, a former kickboxing foe who had already defeated Adesanya twice in their previous sport, entered the UFC and rapidly climbed the ranks. Their clash of the middleweight title was highly anticipated. While Adesanya showcased his striking skill, Pereira's power and aggression proved decisive. In the fifth round, Pereira delivered a knockout blow that ended Adesanya's reign and delighted MMA fans who was eager for a new champion. Adesanya's response was swift and emphatic. He reclaimed the belt in a rematch by knocking out Pereira. Yet Pereira's move to a different weight class left Adesanya without a clear rival, and questions lingered about his vulnerabilities. Sean Strickland exposing the blueprint. The most shocking chapter in Adesanya's career came against Sean Strickland, a brash underdog with a seemingly straightforward striking style. Strickland's game plan was brilliant in its simplicity. He smothered Adesanya's kicks, pressured him relentlessly, and forced the fight into boxing range. Adesanya, who thrives at distance and relies on his kicks to dictate pace, struggled to adapt against Sean Strickland's defense and disciplined pressure, disrupted Adesanya's rhythm, leading to a dominant upset victory. This fight exposed a glaring weakness in Adesanya's game, his vulnerability in the pocket and under pressure. Strickland's success showed that smothering Adesanya's range and forcing him into close quarters exchanges could neutralize his striking arsenal. The Dricus du Plessis factor, a new kind of threat. After losing to Strickland, Adesanya faced Dricus du Plessis, a fighter with a vastly different style. Du Plessis combined unorthodox striking with explosive athleticism and grappling, presenting a multifaceted threat. Unlike Strickland, who relied on calculated pressure, Du Plessis pushed the pace and attacked with unpredictable, powerful strikes. Adesanya showed improvement in his boxing, landing sharp counters and body shots, but as the fight wore on, he began to fatigue. Du Plessis capitalized on this by using his physicality and unpredictability to overwhelm Adesanya. The fight highlighted two critical issues: Adesanya's reliance on controlling pace and his struggles with opponents who force him out of his comfort zone. Ultimately, Du Plessis secured a submission victory, further cementing the perception that Adesanya's once impenetrable skill set has been solved. Alright, you guys, now that the story is told, here's my analytical breakdown on what went wrong. Adesanya's decline is not due to a loss of athleticism or skill. At 35 years old, he remains physically sharp and capable of brilliant performances. However, his style has been thoroughly analyzed, and his opponents have devised strategies to exploit his weaknesses. Number 1, reliance on range and kicks. Adesanya's best performances come when he can control distance and dictate the pace. Fighters like Strickland and du Plessis succeeded by smothering kicks and forcing him into uncomfortable exchanges. Vulnerability in the pocket. Adesanya's boxing, while improved, remains a weakness. Opponents who can close the distance and engage in the pocket have found success, as Adesanya lacks the power and technique to dominate in close quarters. Number 3 is pacing and conditioning. Adesanya's ability to control pace is crucial to his success. When forced to fight at a higher tempo, he has shown signs of fatigue, making him more vulnerable to aggressive opponents. And then the loss of aura. Early in his career, Adesanya's opponents often hesitated, paralyzed by his feints and countering ability. Recent losses have shattered this mystique, emboldening fighters to take risks and pressure him. Now, what's next for Adesanya? Adesanya's next fight is a pivotal moment in his career. Facing a grappling-heavy opponent like Nasruddin Imavov, Adesanya must demonstrate that he can adapt to the evolving landscape of the middleweight division. To remain a contender, he needs to shore up his boxing, improve his ability to fight under pressure, and regain control of the pace in his fights. While Adesanya's legacy as one of the greatest middleweights in UFC history is secure, his recent struggles highlight the challenges of staying at the top in a sport where every weakness is eventually exposed. Whether he can evolve and reclaim his dominance remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the days of Israel Adesanya being untouchable are over, and the middleweight division has never been more competitive. Thank you for watching. It's been Trippy Speaks UFC. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'm out, man.